I'm Professor Rebecca Russell-Bennett, a marketing professor at Queensland University of Technology, and one of the major research techniques that I use when working with clients is service design. So one of the things that I really like about service design is that it has service theories and service thinking and frameworks. Importantly, it's about the bottom line, and that gets combined with human-centred design thinking. So what often happens with user-centred thinking or design thinking is that it can be how to make something great and usable and lovely and really helpful for an end user. But when you put the service lens on it, it's really saying, yes, but how does that translate to the bottom line, whether it be profit or behaviour change or whatever the organisation's bottom line is. And so when we do service design, it's all about bringing in the user or the consumer's viewpoint, and that's our starting point for coming up with a solution. So one of the things about service design is that it goes beyond just the user. It has multiple stakeholders, so it could have staff members involved in the solution, as well as the customers, as well as experts. And it's that divergent thinking, that diverse range of people, that when you bring them together at the problem identification phase and then work with them all the way through to the solution, that you'll actually come up with something that's truly innovative. Service design is quite different to user testing or to focus groups, which is they're more expert-led. So in those instances, the experts would get together, work out what a couple of good ideas would be, and then they would take those ideas out to the marketplace to gain feedback, rather than taking the viewpoint of the customer right at the start to actually generate the solutions. And I think that's why it's become more flavour of the decade, in that it's got that user right at the heart of it, and that provides really strong competitive advantage, and more importantly, it allows you to differentiate and really stand out from the crowd. In social marketing, we're looking at building a better world, a better society using marketing thinking. So I work across a range of different topic areas, anything from preventative health screening, blood donation, right through to recycling, water use, and managing electricity in the home. So it's a very diverse range of problems. The one thing that we have, I guess, as a service design expert is in common, is that we always take that user approach. So for instance, when we've done work in the energy field, we've used service design to identify different kinds of people, we call them personas, and then once we understand the motivations behind why people might engage in a behaviour like saving electricity, or what the barriers might be, we then co-design up with people and with experts ways to overcome those barriers, and how we can leverage the motivations to reduce the pain point and result in whatever it is we want to do. So the way that we do it, we have a very strong emphasis on theory, and I think that's what differentiates a university doing service design to, say, a consultant. So what we do when we're a scholarly evidence-based approach to service design is we uncover the motivations and barriers and develop our personas from our target market. And then we go back to the theory and say, well, what kind of theories seem to explain what's going on? And when we can identify that theory, we use it to then inform the design phase. And so when we did a project with understanding energy use in the home, one of the things that came out from our original interviews with families is that families behave like a business. And that was really interesting to us. So we then went to a theory by Henry Mintzberg around organisational structures, because that theory explained how organisations make rules and basically operate in the same way families do. So in families, they have rules and decision making, they have bureaucracies, or they have adhocracies where nobody really worries about anything until a decision kind of has to be made. And so when we found that behaviour and overlaid that organisation framework, that enabled us to then move to a quantitative phase where we then collected data to develop statistically validated segments that then could predict electricity use behaviour. So for us, it was the combination of doing the qualitative persona work combined with the quantitative validation that actually gave us a really robust framework to understand how households operated as a group to use electricity, and how we might be able to predict their behaviour and then develop products and services that can serve them better. Other key aspects of service design I can see a great deal of use in a lot of areas as well, and that's things like service blueprinting, the customer journey map, prototype development. So I've seen a lot of really good application from government services through to private hospitals, through to airports, using those other tools. There's more than 40 different tools that you can use in service design, including some of the lesser known techniques such as service safaris. The ones most known are the personas, customer journey maps, but there are a whole range, and I think the trick is working out what the right tool is to solve the right problem. And that's, I guess, where working with an expert in service design is helpful, because they know what the right tool is.